And welcome back to the TSF Entertainment Channel. It is your boy Uncanny Retro. Uncanny Retro in the building. And for the simple fact, all right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just say this right now. We late to the game, but we have been watching from day one. We have been watching from day one, and all I can say is,
yeah, it's been crazy.
It's been crazy. We have on the panel tonight, we have the amazing M2, aka Juggernaut of Souls.
We shouldn't wear about him.
We got Jack of Jordans in the building, Mr. Remember It.
Hey man, where your cards at, bro?
Yeah, where your cards at, yo?
Where cards at, bro?
And we got DJ Fresher Highness in the building, feeling a little bit under the weather, but he's here with us tonight.
Yo, what up?
To talk about X-Men 97. We're going to start off with episode 1. To me, my X-Men. Yo, what do y'all think about this first episode so far? When y'all first heard that the show was coming back after 30 years later, what did y'all expect?
I expected, I mean, you know what? I expected it for it to be decent, but man, they went over the top with it, bro. Like, I mean, to me personally, they really snapped off with this one. They snapped off with it.
Man, I can't even describe how excited I was when I saw that first trailer, especially with Wolverine and Gambit with the fastball special. I was like, yo, this shit is lit. But then at the same time, I was like, okay, it's been 30 years later. Like, are they really going to capture the essence of what we remember X-Men as? And after watching the entire season, they did that shit. They did that shit, yo.
I ain't even gonna lie, man. I thought they was gonna be so far removed from the original X-Men because we talking a long time ago, man. I'm talking about I was a teenager when this was coming out. I might be showing my age a little bit, but I was a teenager when this I was a teenager when this came out, man. And I was like, yo, they dropping what? Please don't mess this up. Don't mess this up for me. They done messed it up for me a couple of times with some reboots, but you can't mess this up.
Yeah.
And they nailed it. This was perfection.
It was. All right, so shout out to the gang that's in the chat. We got Courtney in the building, support gaming. Shane, what's up, bro? DeMarcus, what's good with you?
What's good, chat?
All right. Fresh, Fresh, you can drop your comments.
No, I can talk a little bit. Yeah, it exceeded my expectations as well. When I first saw it, honestly, I thought it was just going to be like the original, and they were just updating the graphics. I had no clue they was going to change and rewrite the whole storyline. So when I first watched it, I was like, "Oh man, like okay, this is mad different." That's what got me hooked to it, and the more I continued to watch it, the more I kept getting hooked onto it. So it definitely exceeded my expectation of it.
Thank you for that super chat, super sticker. Excuse me, DeMarcus. We appreciate that. You always hold it down for us.
Absolutely.
All right.
It definitely, just to go off what Fresh said, it definitely exceeded expectations, and it most certainly, like, when you think about it, if you watch the cartoon, as Jack and Jordan said, years ago, and he wasn't showing his age, but I mean, we were all at home on Saturdays able to watch it.
Bowl of cereal in hand.
Like Shane said, Saturday mornings used to be lit.
Fruity Pebbles, soggy as hell.
Nah, for me, Lucky Charms, yo.
Captain Crunch this way.
Captain Crunch was a lit one. I don't
Cinnamon
know.
Toast Crunch.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch is a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Definitely Fruity Pebbles for me.
Yeah, it definitely exceeded expectations, and most certainly, like, it was a switch up from what you saw, so many years ago, man. Like this one, edge of your seat all times. It's like, man,
the show is loved, man. When you think about it, every kid pretty much had their heroes, Superman, Wolverine, Spider-Man, things like that. Mine, of course, was always Wolverine, just because the
Agreed.
Neanderthal effect to it, I suppose. I don't know, like he was just a beast to me. But we all had that, so if you was ever into any comics or anything like that, man, sit back because you in for a good one. You in for a goodie.
What
You in for a goodie. If you
about
haven't watched
that?
it and you on here and you only watched maybe one episode or parts of it, listen, you are in for a goodie.
I like Apple Jacks too, Shay. Yes, we can eat that.
Apple Jacks is a lit.
Yeah, we can eat that. I like Apple Jacks too, yo. That's the shit. All right, yo. I mean, I was a little nervous. I really was a little nervous. But like I said, even if you didn't watch the original animated series, you could pick up here. They drop enough Easter eggs and they talk about some of the events that happened in the 5 seasons of the animated series where you can get caught up pretty quickly. But you can also enjoy this show without even having watched the animated series. To me, it brings more of my memories back from the comic book days than it does actually watching the animated series because
Facts.
X-Men 97 is really, really, really
Facts.
following all of the storylines from the 90s era. Chris Claremont, Jim Lee, comic book days, and I'm really excited to have saw what they did with it. So it's going to kind of be hard for us not to talk about some of the events that have already happened since we watched the whole season. But we really just doing this because there's just so much to talk about from episode to episode that I just didn't think that we could capture it all in one review for the season. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into our review, our reaction, and our recap. So y'all gonna sit back and watch this along with us. Y'all can react with us, and y'all can chime in on your favorite parts of the episode. So we're gonna start off with episode 1. To me, my X-Men. Cyclops episode description reads: Cyclops races to find the source of a new anti-mutant technology that threatens to upset the mutant-human relations. His search leads them to an unexpected reunion with an old foe, even as the X-Men welcome in a new addition to the team. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and jump on in here, and we're gonna review this episode of what's going on with Bo Mayo. But Marvel, Disney, y'all need to bring this man back to work.
Please.
Y'all need to bring this man back to work. We don't care about
Where
his
the petition at?
sexuality. We don't care about his OnlyFans. We don't care about none of that shit.
I'm
Bro
not
did
watching
his
OnlyFans.
thing on this.
I'm just watching it.
Yeah.
I'm watching X-Men. I don't care about his OnlyFans.
Yeah, I don't care
I'm
about all
watching
that.
X-Men.
I don't care about all that. Bro did his thing, yo. Bring him back to work.
Yeah. He snapped on this.
Man, word on the
He's
street
okay.
is, though, that he did do a lot of the writing for season 2. So hopefully they keep in line with where the direction that he was going with the show. Bro did his thing on this. I'm sorry. He's gotten them away from Fox. I am so glad they've gotten them away from Fox because Fox was doing the worst with the X-Men series. And I'm going to go ahead and say it. And I don't care who in the chat get mad at me about it. Y'all go ahead and come at me. Come see me. Fuck the Avengers. Fuck the Avengers. It's all about the X-Men.
Okay,
It's always been about the
X-Men.
Whoa.
There, brother.
Y'all go for him, not me. Yo, team, I like the Avengers.
Man, forget the Avengers. If it wasn't for the X-Men, if it wasn't for how Fox, it's really Marvel's fault because Marvel sold off the X-Men license and brand. You know, they were going through bankruptcy around that time.
Yeah.
Marvel was getting hit real bad. So X-Men was one of their, more profitable franchises that they sold off. And that's how we got stuck with the Avengers over the years. But X-Men always been that team, though. But they've never really gotten the love that the Avengers got. The Avengers just blew up and took off. I mean, they straight or whatever, for real. They all right. it ain't nothing comparison. They're nothing comparison to the X-Men. I'm sorry, yo.
I like how they changed up Storm a little bit.
Yeah, hey, you're right. But you know what? Real talk, I'm kind of glad that they've kind of pulled back off Wolverine in this series because every version of X-Men has always been heavily centered around Wolverine, and all the other characters usually play a back seat to Wolverine. So I like the fact that they've kind of put Wolverine on the back burner this episode because Wolverine had his own X-Men show.
He's the most beloved character.
He is a beloved character, but let's see some of the other character story besides the whole X-Men world centered around Wolverine. Wolverine, my dude, but I want to see some of the other stories that we got to saw, like we saw in this season, that weren't so focused on Wolverine and his stories.
Free me, so you take checks?
We're more interested in the weapons those creeps had. That giant arm was
Whatchamacallit, Disney don't shut us down. All right, let me see.
Cold, man, cold.
Word, I ain't even see it this time.
They do it all the time.
Disney just stepped in.
That's crazy, yo. I guess we were playing too much of the episode. We still live though.
Good. They didn't cut the episode.
So I gotta go back to the old fashioned way.
What happened?
All right. So in this episode, basically, we found out that Professor Xavier is presumed to be unalive. We saw, presumed to be unalive. We saw what happened to him in the last part of season 5. Was it the last episode of season 5 when he went to Shi'ar space?
Yeah, I believe so.
All right, hold on 1 minute. Hold on 1 minute. I'm trying to get us back live on YouTube. Go ahead, Jack. Let me try to get this stream back going.
All right. So where did we leave off at? Actually, we saw Wolverine. Oh, okay. So we saw Wolverine. We saw Wolverine pretty much approach Roberto, letting them know that this ain't no game. It's kind of similar to the first episode of the original series when they was fighting in the danger room. He was fighting Gambit in the danger room, and he was about to get ready to stab Danger up, and then Jubilee interfered with her little sparkles or whatever. And then that's what it is, man.
Yo, y'all gonna quit clowning Jubilee and her powers, yo.
Listen, that's what it. Out of all the X-Men, Jubilee and Morph is probably like the most obsolete, right?
Yeah.
Can we agree?
Well, I would say that Morph is more obsolete because this dude can practically transform into anybody and is absolutely useless, even though they have the most amazing powers.
Well, but we got to also talk about Morph's mutant powers. His mutant powers just allows him to shapeshift into someone.
Mm-hmm.
He don't have all their powers.
Yeah.
I think the shapeshifter is good enough though, because like if you see or like it helps him be kind of elusive, kind of helps him kind of be like undercover, like Jubilee. Nobody's scared of Jubilee. Like, what we doing? Like, nobody's afraid of Jubilee. I'm human. I'm not afraid of Jubilee. Like, stop playing. Like, you ever stood close to the sparklers and that little fire just sparkled against you? You be like, all right, stop playing. Okay. Anyway.
But we do see where Morph can use some of their powers, though. Well, he can use their physical attributes.
Yeah, he's limited. He's limited.
He's limited on what he can do.
He can't do, right.
Yeah.
I almost feel like.
Well, even with that being said, he's still very obsolete in comparison to, or what's the name is very obsolete in comparison to any of the other X-Men. So we pretty much see Jubilee just take Roberto under the wing and kind of just walk her through what's going on with the X-Men. They trying to get their answers to see what's going on with this Sentinel technology. Where did this stuff come from? They thought they got rid of all the Sentinels. We've seen them go against the Sentinels who knows how many times, so they thinking the Sentinels is pretty much gone. And now they got these little handguns where they are able to put them on the humans.
The little Mega Man blasters.
Yeah, look, that's exactly what it is.
Oh yeah, they could be a little Mega Man blast.
Little Mega Man blasters.
That's exactly what it is. However, the Mega Man blasters is still getting it done.
But I did like the conversation. I did like the conversation that Scott was having with Val Cooper. So Val Cooper is like, I guess she's supposed to be over the UN. She's over the United Nations or whatever.
Mhm.
I don't know what it was about her, but I felt like, you know, she wasn't right. I felt like she wasn't right. I felt like something about her, even in this episode right here. I felt like, is she really down for the mutants, or is she really a wolf in sheep's clothing? But we'll get to that in later episodes. But anyway, Scott and Jean have a conversation, letting them know that there's Sentinel technology that's out there, and they're trying to figure out where it came from. Because, like Jack said, they had to shut down Massimo. Because remember, he wanted to replace at the time Senator Kelly's brain with a computer.
Mhm.
They blew up all the Sentinels or whatever. So Scott's trying to figure out, like, where is this tech coming from? Like, I thought y'all got rid of all of it. So that right there had my antennas up. Like, well, where are they getting this Sentinel technology from? Because they're getting it like in abundance. Like, they got like a whole warehouse full of Mega Man blasters.
They do.
Got them boys by the caseload.
Yeah.
But here's where like, to me, here's where things get tricky. It ain't necessarily what makes Cyclops a cornball, but maybe I just don't like Cyclops. Who knows? He talking to Jean about the, you know, they looking at the death certificate, you know, of Professor X, you know, and they looking at old pictures or whatever, and they're playing, you know, the rest of the X-Men, they out there playing basketball. They look like Cyclops is just pretty much hating. Let's just call it what it is. Y'all shouldn't be out there playing basketball. Y'all should be out there doing X, Y, Z, you know, whatever. And Roberto just slipped away. Kind of something similar to what Jubilee did when she just slipped away.
She ran away. Yeah,
when she ran away when she was at the mansion. And then, you know, Cyclops coming around there. I'm quite sure Gambit is pretty much busting their ass. It just seemed like Gambit could hoop, and the rest of them is kind of.
They did that a lot in the comic books too. They played.
They
did.
They also did that a lot in the show. But Cyclops go out there and we pretty much just start barking orders like, "Hey!" And he goes straight for Wolverine. Like, Wolverine, use your nose to go find.
Yeah, because remember, Jubilee said he was the reason why Roberto had went off. Wolverine scared him
away.
He scared him away, so he was like, "Wolverine, go find him or whatever." And it took Jean having to be the one to ask him to go. But right before they went outside, Jean was trying to go ahead and put the battery in Cyclops back, that they needed to go ahead and pack up and leave the team.
Mm-hmm.
Go have their baby and raise their baby or whatever. And I was like, this don't seem like Jean Grey right here, but okay.
Now let me ask you something. Let me stop you right there though, because you know I hate to jump to that scene because we ain't there yet. Do you think that was just because of she didn't want her kid to grow up around that type of atmosphere, or was she banking on her kid possibly being human?
No. It's just like what Wolverine said when it was at the club. It was just like what Wolverine said when it was at the club. Wolverine said that the school was not a place to raise a baby. So basically, I felt like she was basically trying to say that if we're going to have any chance at having a normal life and being able to raise this child, maybe we need to get away from the mansion, you know, get away from the school or whatever, because, you know, the X-Men kind of live in the public eye. So I took that as her way of just kind of wanting to say we need to step back for a minute, see what's happening with this baby, and then, you know, kind of go from there.
I think it was more so what we discussed yesterday on the phone, Mr. Uncanny Retro CG. We had a conversation on the phone yesterday about a specific villain that had it in for Cyclops and Jean.
Mr. Sinister.
Right. So due to the fact we know what Sinister did, I think that was that individual that was pushing them into, okay, well, I can pretty much lock this down because if I can get that individual to get Cyclops over here, it's a wrap.
Good point. Good point. So we see them track Roberto to a club, and Roberto's out here having his best life, like you just didn't get kidnapped 5 minutes ago. Like, bro,
Hey, he was out there in that club, turned up in the middle of the club, bro.
you turned up in the
Rich,
middle of you just
rich
didn't get
entitlement
kidnapped.
kid.
That man was in the middle of the club with glow sticks dancing like Terry Crews, bro.
He did have
Hey,
glow
bro,
sticks.
oh
Chill.
man, it hurt.
He
He
did
did have
the
glow
glow
sticks, didn't he?
sticks.
He had
That
glow
man
sticks.
He was
glow
trying to
sticks
match
and everything.
Jubilee
And then
energy.
Jubilee was out there with her fireworks.
That's what
My
her
little
power is, the glow
sparklers.
sticks.
With
She
her
was matching
sparklers.
energy.
My little sparklers, like they was about to bring out a
Other
bottle or something
other
to the
sparklers.
table.
Yo, she put the glasses on to start sparkling.
Like they was about to bring a bottle out.
Right?
Turned into a whole bottle girl.
Oh man,
Turned into
She
a
did.
whole bottle girl.
Oh
like
my
man, don't y'all
God.
know? Like, don't y'all know they looking for mutants, bro? And you out
She
here.
was the bottle girl.
She
was
was the
at
bottle girl.
Yo,
Mutants and y'all just out there
Man.
with glow sticks and some sparklers.
Y'all
But
out here
you-
looking for mutants, and you out here with sparkles on. This mug out here with glow sticks. He didn't already escaped, so they know she a mutant because she.
But that's just kind of careless though,
No.
knowing that FOH is looking for him. I almost
Right.
called HOH.
in the
Jesus
FOH,
Christ.
we saw that the FOH showed up there, but Wolverine them scared them off. But we
Mhm.
also saw a scene at the club too where Rogue was kind of looking at the patrons at the club, and she saw where everybody was, having physical contact. Oh God, that was having physical contact. That's a shot to the comics too, because Rogue has always battled with her inability to touch other people. So that's always been a point of contention for Rogue, even in the comics, that she could not have physical contact with other people. But Gambit was there to let her know that it's okay. Let's go have a dance. Let's go get a drink or something like that. So I really like Gambit and Rogue's relationship.
Yeah, me too.
Jack, do you have something?
Jack, don't you say nothing.
Do you have something you need to say, Jack?
Listen, I'm not gonna say nothing about Miss Rogue at this time. I am
Miss
going
Rogue.
to hold my comments,
Miss Marvel.
out of respect for Remy LeBeau. Right now, I'm going to hold my comments to myself until we get there.
About Miss Marvel, aka Rogue.
Yeah, until we get there.
Until we get there. All right. So meanwhile, while that team is out trying to get Roberto back to the mansion, because like y'all said, FOH out here looking for him or whatever. FOH show up at the club, they run him off or whatever, and they try to convince him to come back to the mansion. You're safe here. You see Bishop, Cyclops, and Storm go see Henry Garrick, because Henry Garrick was the one that attacked Xavier, and so he's like serving his prison time for his attack on Xavier. And then they pull up on him for real to try to see if they can find Bolivar Trask, because they feel like he knows something about these Sentinel pieces that are out here with FOH, and they try to get some information out of him. He pretty much tell them to piss off. He ain't got nothing for him. And so Cyclops like, oh, word? You ain't got nothing for me? All right, I got something for you.
But the missus gonna line you up.
Right, she lined him up too, yo.
Yeah. I got
Jean
the
had that
missus in the
cerebral
background
role.
checking you out. Yeah,
Listen.
I got the missus in the background,
I
running
will
the background
say-
checking your mind.
Yep,
I will say to
he
that,
ran it too.
it shows with that whole situation. This fool only had 25 years for murder, bro. Because he killed Xavier.
Unalive, a mutant.
Yeah, he unalived Xavier. If he unalived this man, he only got 25 years. Then Cyclops goes to say, well, I can
offer him
reduce
a deal for 10. Like, what? What are you doing?
right. Like how you gonna offer him a deal for 10, bro? And then he already got 25. Not 25 to life. He got 25.
Well, Garrick said, I ain't got nothing for you.
Right.
So Jean went ahead and penetrate those thoughts real quick. And she seemed like she done it in an aggressive way too.
But she ain't like what she saw. Before you get on that train, make sure you really want to.
But you know what? I
before you punch
wondered
that ticket.
about that. And now seeing the events that have happened, afterwards, that right there made a lot of sense. Because basically what Jean saw was foreshadowing what's to come.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's to
absolutely.
come.
She saw Master Mode. She saw the Sentinels.
Genosha.
She saw the future, the
Yeah, saw the
inevitable,
future.
as a lot of people put it, or as
Wait,
Apocalypse
wasn't
wants to
it
put
the
it.
clone though that saw that?
Yeah, but
That's
we
the
ain't
clone
got
that
to
saw
that
it.
part yet.
Yeah, we ain't really get to that part yet.
We ain't got to
My
that.
bad.
At this part, she's still Jean.
Oh yeah. That's right. My bad.
Right now, we in the part with the first time where the Blackbird was destroyed. The first time out of.
Man. So
Bro,
they
they must have
found him. Where was he in, like the Sahara Desert or something? He was like in a desert or something, wasn't he?
bro.
I believe.
He was camped out like in a desert.
Bro, who's cutting the checks to replace the Blackbird?
Professor X.
Listen, they said Professor X had that
Man,
money.
dog.
Yeah, they said Xavier had that old money, that
They
long
said
money.
Xavier had that dough.
Yeah, he had that dope. Yeah.
He had that soy sauce money.
Yeah.
He had the.
But you know,
he
in the
had
comic, the mansion, the Blackbird, I can't tell you how many times they got tore up. So, like, I feel like he had a fleet of Blackbirds at this point.
Right.
Because them Sentinels
Like,
tore
they
that Blackbird up out the sky, literally.
Hey,
That was
dare
a
I
dope
say,
thing, though.
like Deadpool said, we get a superhero landing from Cyclops, we still make him corny.
Yo, that scene right there was fire, though. That scene was really
He
fire.
still could. Then to me, my X-Men.
But you saw Morph turn into Archangel.
Yeah.
And then you seen Rogue and Stormwind do their thing. I was like, Cyclops was like, okay, I'll see you guys on the ground. I'm like, how you gonna get there? I'm
He
like,
used
how
the
you
blast.
You got that.
He used
like, how you
the
finna get
blast
there?
to cushion it.
Another moonwalk.
Nah, he did the moonwalk, yo. Open a portal or something. He put a nightcrawler or something. Like, I'll see you guys on the ground. Like,
He hit that.
But they put them on master
like-
mode. They put them on master mode to see what's good.
hey, that work that they gave them Sentinels.
Yeah.
That work that they gave them Sentinels, yo.
In the words of Shady McCoy, crazy work.
Man, they
Crazy
gave
work.
crazy work.
Crazy work.
It was crazy work. But let's talk about
it
Beast for a minute.
reminds me of the night of the Sentinels. Actually, you know what it reminds me of? Maybe that's not the night of the Sentinels. When Wolverine would nuts on them after they unalive Morph. It kind of remind me of that. I don't know if that's the same episode, but it kind of put me more.
Wait, I know what you're talking about.
Second episode. It's the second episode.
Yeah, it kind of put me in the mindset of that one. And they
That's
went,
the one where he cut the roof off of Cyclops' car and told Jean, tell Loverboy he got a convertible.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I made him tell Loverboy I made him a convertible.
But let's talk about Beast for a minute. At what point did Beast get strong enough to flip a Sentinel?
But that's always been his thing, though. Like
Beast has never been that superhuman strong.
They
now.
said that he was supposed to be like crazy strong, not to flip a Sentinel, but they said that he was supposed to be like crazy strong at one point.
I ain't never seen Beast showcase his powers like that.
I was about to say, I thought he always was, but he just decided not to do it because
yeah, that's what I thought.
The one that never really wanted to fight.
Okay, well, Beast showed you what he was working with.
Hey, you see how they show respect to Storm though when they was like Omega level mutant detected.
Yep.
She was about to give him hell, literally.
The team did a very good job showcasing their powers and working together to take out the Sentinels. Like when Beast got inside that Sentinel, that was nasty work right there too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was kicking, backslapping.
Yeah, flipping. I'm like, okay, Beast. All right, I like this. Bishop was doing his thing. Gambit was doing his thing. Wolverine was doing his thing. Everybody was, pulling their weight.
I think Storm was the. She
was
the cake
they held her back. They said, Storm, you need to just fall back for a little bit.
Yeah, fall back because we know.
When he said, give him the forecast.
You go give them something crazy if they decide to get crazy. But this scene with Gambit,
celebration.
The scene with Gambit,
so stupid. Jubilee wasn't even there. Somebody throwing the fireworks to celebrate.
The scene with Gambit and Wolverine was
probably
the most
fastball special.
And the hot claws, the most fire part out of this whole episode.
Yeah. I need that on the shirt, bro.
Yeah.
I think they got it.
That was lit.
They got it.
That was lit.
I think they do. I think I seen it.
I think I did see that one. I think I did see that shirt with Wolverine Gambit on. Yeah. But when Storm came through there and she turned them Desert Saiyans to glass, I knew it was going to be some problems.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be some problems. I'm like, oh, Miss Omega, let me see what you finna do. And she created that little tornado of the glass and the Sentinels. That was fine.
Yeah.
Of course,
But
she had to get
Omega threat detected.
Yeah, they said Omega level threat detected. Of course, she had to give a Black History Month speech while she was doing it. But you know, she did
to hold her hand up and then feel my power, my wrath, my pain. This is for all the years.
I am a Black woman. Here are my powers.
This is for all the hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you see Dr. Cooper pull up and you know they go ahead and clean up the rest of the work that they already put in. I'm having a brain fart. What's my man's name?
You know what? I felt kind of suspicious about that too, because when
Dr. Cooper?
Yeah, because when she showed up and he was like, okay, well, we'll go ahead and dismantle the rest of Massimo. Like, I felt like the X-Men shouldn't have let them clean up that work. Like, they should have just blew up the whole place. Like, you know, y'all got the power. Y'all should have trashed everything before y'all left. Like, y'all leaving the UN, these folks that low-key don't like mutants, to clean up the work. Like, I didn't feel like that was a good move, Cyclops.
Well, he learning. He gonna learn.
He gonna learn. And we see the kids back at the mansion because that's what Roberto and Jubilee are, the kids, you know. And
the fireworks show.
The fireworks show, like what you say, Fresh said she was shooting fireworks. They were back at the mansion shooting fireworks.
Yep.
Fireworks and suntans.
Fireworks and suntans. Didn't Morph turn the Blob? He turned into the Blob.
Yeah,
he did turn into the Blob.
He turned into the Blob. Yep.
He did turn into the Blob.
I'm trying to think what else happened in this episode. Okay, they take away Bolivar Trask. They take him to prison again for building these killer Sentinels.
He dropped some bars on them though. He said
he did drop some bars on them.
How did it feel to be left behind in the future? He dropped some bars on him though. He was like, he basically was foreshadowing.
It was heeding a warning. It was a warning.
Yeah. Basically, it was a warning, and he was right. Yeah, he was right. But then you see everybody that's back. You know, Cyclops is kind of had let up his leadership a little bit. He's playing basketball with us, and they trying to drop some bars on. Well, not bars on him, but Jean and Cyclops wanted to talk to him. And before they was able to get what they needed to say out, Wolverine intervened immediately. Like, y'all leaving us to go and be a happy family, white picket fence and roses and bubbles. But the alarm goes off. Intruder alert. Somebody's in the house. Who in the hell left the gate open?
The master of magnetism shows up.
The master of magnetism.
The master of magnetism shows up.
When Magneto speaks, sometimes I
now that's who be dropping them bars. Magneto be dropping them bars.
Listen, do I gotta pull out a dictionary to catch up?
Yo,
yeah.
Magneto don't play.
He articulate things. I'll be like, now hold on, that means. All right, I got you. All right, Magneto. I know exactly what you mean.
But don't. How they put Magneto on here? Don't he look like Ric Flair, bro?
He do look like Ric Flair.
He do like Ric Flair.
Especially that new costume he wear. That new costume he wear.
He talk like T.I. though. You know T.I. be using the big words.
Yeah, he do.
He talk like T.I. How dare you besmirch my X-Men? Like, I'll be like, whoa, easy. It's still a kid's cartoon, you know. But in fairness, Magneto has always been
poetic.
Favorite kid. Yeah, he always been poetic. Always had been. He always had a way with words. He always gave you some bars before he drop a.
He always
let
let you know that hey, these powers ain't what you want.
Right.
No, definitely. He always, like he would side eye you before he get ready to put his work in. He'd be like,
when he get ready to put his work in, listen, nasty work.
This is what we doing. Because if you see, like, in the next episode, I don't want to jump, he side-eyed him like, huh, y'all want plastic?
I'm giving you a warning. I'm
Y'all
giving you
think
a
y'all
warning.
think y'all bringing plastic is really gonna stop this work? It's not gonna stop this work. This
It ain't
house
gonna
is
stop
made
this
of
work.
metal. This is made of metal. This is made of metal. How do you stop somebody who can control
But
and
let's talk
bend
about that
metal to his
will.
will?
Let's talk about that will. Speaking of wills, let's talk about that will that Professor X left Magneto. Like it was a book.
Crazy.
Like what all
Right.
did you leave
Yeah.
him?
I
Was
think
a
he
book.
did that though.
Why?
For Cyclops, or he wanted Magneto to not be the Magneto that we
I think he
all
was
known
using
for
this as
years.
an opportunity to try to change
Tone it
Magneto.
down. Yeah.
Yeah, to change Magneto.
So with that being said, he looked at it as I can't, all these years I was never able to get him to calm down and to see it from this side. But if I am gone, in his head, he feels as though that he would be submissive towards his dreams and wishes.
Pretty much.
That makes sense.
You know what? I can't even. I was about to Gary jump to an episode of what he told Cyclops, but I won't since we talk about episode 1.
Yeah, but the X-Men, to their surprise, find out that Xavier has left everything he has in this world, including them, to Magneto. And Magneto pretty much put them on notice that everything that Charles Xavier worked for and had is now mine, including you, my X-Men.
He wanted to be clear. He wanted to be clear. Cyclops, all that nonsense. If this is what you want, trust me, it's gonna be a long day for you. This
It's
is
gonna
my
be a long
X-Men.
day for you.
It's gonna be
Right.
a long day for you. This is my X-Men.
My
Emphasis
X-Men.
on mine. Let's
When
argue. Let's debate. Let's run this fade real quick, Cyclops, if you want to.
When we found out that Magneto was now going to be the new headmaster of the school, and what did y'all think was going to happen? What did you what was your expectations thereafter?
It was gonna be his usual self, like he always was.
I thought he was
felt
gonna
that
try
way
to
too.
convert them over to that side.
Yep, I did too.
To his ideology, he was gonna try to push him over to there and say, "See, this is why we can't coexist, and we should just squash all humans."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which,
Agreed.
in fairness, if I was a mutant, I'd probably have Magneto's ideology too, to be honest.
But he's not wrong for how he feels.
He's not.
They are persecuted. They are mistreated.
Mm-hmm.
They are attacked. But
if
two wrongs don't make a right. That's what Xavier's viewpoint is. Two wrongs don't make a right. Yeah, they do some fucked up shit to us, but that don't mean we got to do fucked up shit back to them. That's Xavier's thought process. But Magneto, like, they're brutalizing us, they're murdering us, they're killing us, they fear us, they're trying to exterminate us. Like, we got to defend ourselves. But Magneto takes his defense too far. Because even in the comics, he's always taking it way too far.
It's Malcolm and Martin, kind of, right? There's really a discrimination. It's kind of like a discrimination parallel to a lot of things that we see in like real life. So that's basically why I look at them as like Malcolm and Martin. With Magneto being Malcolm by any means necessary, and Martin and being Professor is we gonna move in peace.
Yeah,
and we gonna make them, we're gonna make them see why we okay, we could coexist. But Magneto, like, why should we?
Right.
They don't want to do that no way. Why should we? I ain't gotta do nothing.
So after watching this first episode, what did that leave y'all with? What was your thoughts after you watched the first episode? Because we got both episodes 1 and 2 back to back, and me and Jack, we stayed up late to watch.
Yeah.
Me and Jack, we gonna get up about 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning. We gonna watch that before we go to work.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So after you watched the first episode, not even before you got to episode 2, what was your feelings? What were you left with?
That Magneto was finna be on some goofy shit.
I mean, for me, I was just like, okay, this ain't too bad. I was like, this wasn't a bad episode. I was trying to figure out where it was going to go. It wasn't a bad. Like if I had to rate the episode, it was probably like a 6 out of 10. It wasn't something that I was like I had to rush to watch the next episode, but it was good enough where I was like, all right, you know what, I'm gonna give this a chance to see where this gonna go.
I gave it more of an 8.5 because I really thought it was going to be on some goofy, corny. They just trying to reboot the X-Men, and rather than trying to do a whole new X-Men show, they were trying to reach back into the past. Like we see a lot of things that they're rebooting from the 90s.
Yeah.
And I thought it was just going to be another failed attempt of them trying to take something that was nostalgic and capitalize off of it. So I was interested in seeing what direction the show was getting ready to go in. I was like, okay, this is a good way to introduce the team back to us and kind of catch us up to what's been happening with them over the last 30 years. And I thought it was going to be okay. I thought it was going to be okay. I didn't think it was going to be what it became because it became something real serious.
Yeah.
It became something real serious. Like, Wednesday night, what's up?
Yo, so first watch, I was just like, okay, this is okay. I'm kind of with Fresh. I was like, I get it's like a 6.5, but it's just they coupled it with the second episode. The second episode is what pulled me all the way, in. So what made me feel like the first episode was the perfect pilot for what was to come. So the first watch was a 6, but after everything transpired, I probably give it a 9 because I think it was the perfect pilot for the rest of the season.
I think it was too.
I think it was perfect for the rest of the season. I wouldn't have it no other way. The nostalgia factor was there. They kept the voices. They kept the theme music. They kept the uniforms. They kept the likeness of characters. They personalities, they characteristics. I think everything was pretty much still intact. There wasn't a character that I just was like, I don't like how they did him. Even though I think Cyclops was a cornball in the show, I thought he was a cornball then. So that don't really change. So like they went back to his original way of looking versus the way he looked in the in the animated series. So they went back to his comic book way of looking, which I thought was very very dope. I'm here for it on Wednesday.
It was good to see that they didn't really change. They updated the looks, and I like the updated looks. I like the fact that they kept the uniforms and everything the same. They kept the mansion and everything the same. They kept what we remembered X-Men to be.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot of the voice actors from the original show has passed on, but the new voice actors that they have for some of the characters, you didn't even miss a beat.
Yeah, it's like
they did their homework. They did real good.
Even so,
it took me a minute to get used to Rogue's voice, even though it's the original voice actor for Rogue, but she sounds different. But it has been 30 years, so I mean, these people have aged.
Still country.
It took a minute for me to get used to Wolverine's voice, and he's the original voice actor. So
see, I was immediately used to Wolverine's voice, like immediately, and I think they kept like the cadence of Rogue because Rogue was like country as hell. Like she be saying some off the wall country. He was like, I'm just about as hungry as a raccoon and.
And she got this thing with cats. She got this thing with cats.
I was like, what the hell are you talking about, Rogue? But I guess her metaphors when she explained
he got the sneaker dig in on Rogue, yo. He got to find some kind of way.
I'm Rogue. I got you. I got you.
Trust me. Go get them hands by Rogue now. I'm telling you.
I got bombs. I'm dropping on Rogue.
Okay.
I promise you.
Okay.
Y'all gonna like it, or y'all probably not.
They're definitely not.
They're not gonna like it.
They're not gonna like it.
I'm gonna give y'all the reasons though. I'm gonna give y'all good reasons. Y'all might not like the reasons, but they facts.
All right, we'll see. But overall, I think that we off to a good start with the show. Again, we have watched the whole show, so we're just gonna give you our thoughts and reactions to what we've seen piece by piece, because we spent a lot of time talking about this. Me and Jack was all on this from day one that, yo, we need to be reviewing this because we spent a lot of time discussing a lot of the things that we saw, different theories and different things that we thought was going to happen that actually happened. And that's where I'm in shock with. I'm just like, you know, some of the stuff that we were throwing out there was kind of far-fetched, and the shit actually happened.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is what kind of time we on. Okay, I like this. All right, so overall, and really enjoying what they're doing with X-Men 97. So we got a lot of things to talk about with that. So y'all come back next week and drop y'all comments in the chat about where y'all would like to see the direction of the show, what y'all thought about the show, what y'all thought about, what were y'all favorite characters, favorite moments from the show, favorite episodes, theories, all that good stuff. Because next week we're gonna turn it up a notch, because now we starting to see a lot of these things come into play.
Yep.
And that's where a lot of the debates gonna start. That's where a lot of the debates gonna start. All right, fam. Any last thoughts?
We'll see y'all next week. We definitely make sure
See y'all next week.
Disney hating ass. Y'all like gonna shut us down next week.
Yep, y'all ain't gonna shut us down next week. Y'all hating ass YouTube. We'll be back with the slideshow next week. We'll be back with the slideshow next week. All right, fam. I guess we up out of here. We'll go ahead and see y'all next week.